Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Body Mind Healing. My name is Maria Sanchez. I am a holistic health consultant, a family nurse practitioner, a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and a doctor of nursing practice. The case for today is the trap of sacrifice. We have learned to see sacrifice as one of the highest forms of love. We admire those who give themselves to the limit, those who choose renunciation, suffering, or even martyrdom in the name of a group, a cause, or a country. That kind of behavior often seems noble, brave, even heroic. And yet, there is a more uncomfortable truth. Not all sacrifice is born of love. Many times, it is born of unresolved wounds, deep insecurities, and an old fear that still governs life from the shadows. In some cases, self-sacrifice becomes a form of compensation. We come to believe that if we suffer for others, then we have value, deserve love, or can consider ourselves good. In this way, pain begins to be confused with virtue and renunciation with dignity. At other times, sacrifice offers a temporary sense of moral superiority, as if suffering grants inner authority or justifies our existence. It can also arise from the guilt left by difficult experiences, an irrational guilt that prompts us to punish ourselves, deny ourselves rest, or live as if we still owe a debt. For that reason, the tendency toward constant self-sacrifice does not always speak of generosity. It often reveals a learned pattern for managing fear, seeking validation, avoiding abandonment, or making sure we are seen. What appears to be devotion from the outside may, on the inside, be a silent struggle to earn love, belonging, or recognition. Some stories reveal with brutal clarity one of the most painful tendencies of the human being, spending an entire lifetime deceiving ourselves so that we do not heal, keeping ourselves busy, taking refuge in the idea that there is too much to deal with does not always speak of responsibility. Many times it speaks of terror, terror of stopping, terror of looking within, terror of facing the wounds, the emptiness, and the demons we have spent years avoiding. So we fill ourselves with duties, urgencies, and distractions, and in doing so, we postpone the healing that deep down is the most important task of our existence. Running from our own healing is not a neutral act. It is a silent form of violence against ourselves. It is evidence that we are not loving ourselves enough, that we are not giving ourselves the importance and respect we deserve, that fear continues to impose itself over inner peace. Because even if the ego is uncomfortable accepting it, nothing and no one should occupy a more sacred place than our own inner integrity. Nothing, no one. Even if it sounds radical, even if it makes people uncomfortable, even if we were taught to believe otherwise. We did not come into this life only to solve problems or to believe that we must carry the world or save everything. We came to live the human experience in all its depth, and within it, to heal what was broken, what was left unresolved, what was still hurting within us. And yes, we also came to contribute, to help, and to serve the collective, but not from obligation, not from blind sacrifice, not from renouncing ourselves. True service is not born from self-abandonment, but from consciousness. The human experience is not an easy walk. We do not choose simple paths. We choose contrasts, trials, losses, crises, and breakdowns, because it is through them that we learn, grow, evolve, and expand our consciousness. However, it is one thing to navigate chaos and a very different thing to turn it into an identity. Chaos is only a stage we go through, but it does not have to become our permanent way of living. We are not condemned to live in it forever. Many times, remaining there is also a choice shaped by the mind, the ego, or by fear. And fear knows how to disguise itself very well. It dresses itself as duty, it dresses itself as strength, it dresses itself as loyalty, struggle, and endurance. It convinces us that continuing to carry everything is noble, that continuing to suffer is admirable, and that letting go would be a betrayal. But the reality is that many times fear is only trying to avoid the hardest work, facing ourselves, going through what hurts, and healing. Because healing requires wanting to heal. It requires time, desire, will, and courage. It requires letting go of the narrative that keeps us tied to pain. It requires stopping our identification with the wound so that we can discover who we are beyond it. And how immense the contrast is between the wall of non-healing and the real possibility of deep healing. That abyss is what separates the person who resists, justifies, and sacrifices themselves without end from the one who decides to take responsibility for the process, let go of the ego, accept their circumstances, and move through even the shame they avoided for so long. Because it is precisely there, in that act of radical honesty, that a deeper consciousness begins to be born, and with it, the possibility of transcendence. This message is not a judgment, it is a mirror. It is not meant to point at anyone, but to invite us to recognize ourselves, to ask ourselves honestly, in which parts of our lives are we still postponing healing? In which places are we still calling love what is actually fear? In which moments are we still confusing sacrifice with courage, when perhaps the bravest thing would be to stop, look at ourselves, and choose ourselves? Let us give ourselves time. Let us reflect. Let us heal. Let us free ourselves from the demons of the past, which are nothing more than lessons not yet transcended. What follows us, our shadows, does not have to destroy us. It comes to show us what still needs to be seen, understood, and transformed. And perhaps that is the true invitation, to stop running, to stop hardening ourselves, and to finally dare to heal in order to live in freedom. Martyrdom by itself is not proof of love. Sometimes it becomes a defense mechanism, a way of managing inner pain by turning suffering into selfless service. Instead of facing the wound directly, we keep giving, rescuing, sacrificing, and enduring, hoping that our devotion will finally make the emptiness disappear. But a void is not healed by more suffering. It is healed by truth, by healthy boundaries, by self-love, by the courage to begin a real inward process of healing. True love does not require self-erasure, and healing does not ask us to keep bleeding to prove that we care. If you like this topic and want to learn more tools to support your mental health, you will find more in my book, Through the Storm by Maria Piedad, DMP, available on Amazon. If you resonated with this video, like it, share it, comment on it, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.